Our next topic introduces you to endurance development. Endurance, or stamina, is an important fitness component for all. Endurance may often be referred to as work capacity and can be described as the ability to perform work for extended periods of time. Endurance has two major categories: cardiovascular endurance and local muscular endurance. This topic will outline the basics for developing endurance through different methods, from steady state aerobic activity to high intensity interval and circuit training. Benefits. Engaging in regular cardiovascular activity provides many health benefits. These benefits include improved overall fitness, reduced risk of disease, improved mental health, decreased resting heart rate, improved ability to transport oxygen around the body, improved bone mass with aerobic activities such as running, reduced body fat weight, improved recovery between training sessions, and depending on your goal, aerobic training has the ability to improve performance. For these reasons, whether your goal is general health, improved recovery, or improve your 5K time, cardiovascular training should be included to some degree as part of your program. Your goal will influence the method of exercise you undertake. However, if your goal is general health, then the method becomes less important. Methods of endurance training. As previously mentioned, endurance development has two major components: cardiovascular endurance and local muscular endurance. Refers to the ability of the cardiovascular system, that is, the heart, lungs, and blood vessels, to sustain prolonged aerobic activities such as running, cycling, or swimming. This system can be trained with steady-state aerobic exercise or high-intensity interval training. Refers to the ability of the muscular system to maintain submaximal muscle actions for a prolonged period of time. Muscular endurance training is commonly performed through circuit training. Cardiovascular training. Cardiovascular training must be progressive in nature in order to see continuous benefits. Additionally, a cardio training program should be progressed in a planned and gradual fashion to reduce the risk of overtraining. As a general rule, increases in frequency, intensity, or duration should be limited to 10%, and increases should only be made after the body has adjusted to the new program. Steady-state training. This is continuous aerobic activity performed at a moderate intensity. This may include running, cycling, or swimming, and typically over a duration of 20 to 60 minutes, 2 to 5 days per week, depending on current fitness levels. This approach is recommended to improve general fitness levels. You should remain in this phase of training until a firm aerobic base has been attained before including interval training in your program. Interval training. This involves aerobic exercise at high intensities, at work intervals of between 30 seconds and 5 minutes. This allows you to exercise at a higher intensity for a greater amount of time that would be possible with continuous exercise. Interval training can be taxing on the body due to the high intensities. Because of these stresses placed on the body, interval training should be used sparingly, and appropriate recovery should be given between high-intensity days to avoid the risk of overtraining. You should also take into consideration other forms of exercise within your program, such as resistance training. It may not be appropriate to perform a heavy leg day followed by an intense running day. Here we present a classification table for frequency and duration recommendations for cardiovascular activity based on your ability and experience. You should note that when progressing cardiovascular exercise, it is important to only increase one training variable at a time. That is, only increase one of either frequency, duration, or intensity at any given time. Allow sufficient time for your body to adapt to the new stimulus before increasing an additional variable. Measuring intensity. How do we measure intensity to ensure we are exercising in the preferred zone for a particular adaptation? Intensity can be measured in a variety of ways, including reps and sets for resistance and circuit training, distance covered in a specific amount of time in cardiovascular training, rate of perceived exertion, more commonly referred to as RPE, or heart rate. Heart rate. Typically, heart rate is used to monitor intensity during cardiovascular training. To use heart rate as a method to track intensity, first you must calculate your max heart rate. This can be calculated using a maximal test or by estimating it using the formula 220 minus your age. This method is less accurate, however, it provides a safe alternative for calculating training zones for beginners. Using heart rate, intensity can be distributed into 3 zones. Zone 1 is low intensity and performed between 70 and 80% of your maximal heart rate. Zone 2 is moderate intensity and performed between 80 and 90% of your maximal heart rate. And Zone 3 is high intensity and performed between 90 and 100% of your maximal heart rate. Here we outline sample heart rate zones for a 30-year-old individual. Using the formula to estimate heart rate, 220 minus your age, we calculate this individual's max heart rate to be 190 beats per minute, or BPM for short. Next, you must multiply the maximum heart rate by 60 and 70% for Zone 1. Multiply it by 70 and 80% to determine Zone 2, and multiply by 80 and 90% to determine Zone 3. In this example, the zones for this individual are as follows. Zone 1, 133 to 152 beats per minute. Zone 2, 153 to 171 beats per minute. Zone 3, 172 to 190 beats per minute. Using this method is only an estimation, and while being a suitable method in controlling and planning training intensities for beginners, this method may not be suitable for advanced individuals, as max heart rate values will vary greatly between individuals. RPE. Tracking heart rate may not be an option for all individuals, as it requires a monitoring device. Using an RPE scale is a cheap and easy alternative to quantifying the intensity you're exercising at. RPE uses a simple scale between 1 and 10, 1 being rest or very easy activity such as walking, and 10 being maximal effort. When using an RPE scale, you will rate how hard you are currently working on the scale between 1 and 10. Zone 1 will be equal to an RPE of between 5 and 6. Zone 2 will be equal to 7 and 8. And Zone 3 will be equal to maximum effort of between 9 and 10. Using an RPE scale to rate intensity of a particular training session will take practice, but as you progress, the more you practice, the better you become at identifying your level of effort. Here we present a table on the different types of aerobic training and their corresponding intensity zones. Circuit training. Circuit training, although a form of resistance training, has been shown to improve cardiovascular endurance, body composition, and strength endurance in an untrained population. Circuit training can be used to develop a foundation of strength and non-specific cardiovascular endurance, proving it to be a useful method for developing general overall fitness. Circuit training variables. Circuit training utilizes a variety of exercises and techniques such as explosive jumps, body weight exercises, resistance bands, dumbbells, barbells, and oftentimes cardio equipment. A circuit may consist of between 6 and 12 stations or exercises, which may be repeated several times. Each station may be performed for a duration of approximately 30 to 60 seconds before moving on to the next one. The rest interval between each station can be anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds, with up to 3 minutes rest between circuits. Each circuit training session should take approximately 20 to 25 minutes. Beginners should individualize duration per station and rest intervals according to their current fitness levels. In this section, we provided you with an overview of endurance development. We noted that it can be divided into two major components: cardiovascular endurance and local muscular endurance. Cardiovascular endurance utilizes steady-state aerobic activity such as running or cycling and interval training to improve endurance. Local muscular endurance utilizes circuit training to improve muscular endurance and improve general overall fitness. The combination of both these methods for improving cardiovascular and muscular endurance should be included in your overall program, as they not only improve overall fitness, but also provide you with many important health benefits that will benefit you in everyday life. Finally, we described heart rate and RPE as a function of controlling exercise intensity during cardiovascular training.